There had always been whispers about the girls' bathroom on the third floor of St. Miriam's High School. The school, built over a century ago, was a maze of long, creaking hallways, dimly lit classrooms, and old wooden floors that groaned beneath your feet. But nothing compared to the dread that surrounded the bathroom. Students claimed that after sunset, strange things happened there. Faucets turned on by themselves, eerie whispers echoed in the stalls, and lights flickered without warning. No one dared to go alone, especially when it was getting dark. But it wasn't until Hannah, a senior known for her bravery, decided to put the rumors to rest that the true horror was revealed. One rainy afternoon, just as the bell rang to end the day, Hannah stayed behind, determined to prove the ghost stories were just that, stories. She marched up to the third floor, her footsteps heavy with confidence. The hallway was eerily quiet, with only the faint patter of rain against the windows. The closer she got to the bathroom, the colder the air seemed to grow, and a strange, oppressive silence filled the space. She pushed the door open, the creak echoing through the empty hallway, sending a shiver down her spine. The bathroom was dimly lit by a single flickering bulb, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. There were 4 stalls, all closed, their doors slightly misaligned, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. The room smelled damp, the air thick with mildew and the faint scent of something rotten, making her wrinkle her nose in disgust. Hannah stared at the mirror above the sink, seeing only her own reflection, her expression stern, defiant. She had heard the stories, the whispers of a ghost haunting this very bathroom, but she refused to be scared off by mere rumors. "All right, ghost," she muttered, mocking the fear that had kept students away for years. Her voice echoed slightly, adding an eerie quality to her words. "Let's see if you're real," she challenged, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her chest. For a moment nothing happened. The bathroom remained silent, the only sound the faint hum of the flickering light. Hannah smirked, about to turn and leave, when she heard it, the unmistakable sound of a stall door creaking open behind her. The sound was slow, deliberate, as if someone or something was taking its time. Her breath hitched, heart pounding, but she forced herself to stay calm. She had come here to face her fears, and she wasn't about to back down now. Slowly she turned her head toward the stalls, her eyes scanning the dimly lit room for any sign of movement. The third door was now slightly ajar, though Hannah was sure it had been closed when she walked in. She took a cautious step forward, her curiosity piqued despite the fear gnawing at her. "Very funny," she said, her voice shaky. She tried to sound confident, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her nerves. "Whoever's messing with me, you can stop now." No response. The silence was deafening, amplifying her anxiety. The door creaked again, opening wider. Something wasn't right. The air felt charged, as if the room itself was holding its breath. The room felt colder, the air suddenly thick with a sour, rotting stench. Hannah shivered, the chill seeping into her bones. The lights flickered once more before dimming entirely, leaving the bathroom in near darkness. Hannah's heart raced as she stood frozen, the oppressive darkness pressing in on her. She could feel the presence now, a cold, malevolent force that seemed to be watching her every move. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever was to come. This was no longer just a test of courage, it was a fight for her sanity. Then she saw her. Hannah had always heard the stories, the whispers among her classmates about the ghosts that haunted the old school bathroom. She never believed them, dismissing them as mere tales to scare the new students. But now, standing alone in the dimly lit bathroom, she felt a chill run down her spine. A figure, faint like a shadow, slowly emerged from the third stall. The air grew colder, and Hannah's breath became visible in the frosty air. She could hardly believe her eyes. At first it was hard to make out any details. The figure seemed to waver and flicker, as if it were made of smoke. Hannah squinted, trying to discern if her eyes were playing tricks on her. But as it moved closer, Hannah's blood ran cold. The figure became more defined, and Hannah could see the outline of a girl, her form becoming clearer with each step. It was a girl, her face pale and sunken, as if she had been drained of all life. Her skin was almost translucent, and Hannah could see the faint blue veins beneath, eyes black as the void. They seemed to absorb all light, leaving nothing but darkness. Hannah felt as if those eyes were looking straight into her soul, reading her deepest fears. Her long, tangled hair hung wetly over her shoulders, dripping water onto the floor. It looked as if she had just emerged from a deep, dark place, and her white school uniform was drenched, clinging to her frail body. The uniform was old-fashioned from a time long past, adding to the eerie atmosphere, as if she had just crawled out of a well. Hannah couldn't move. She had heard the legend of the girl who drowned in the well behind the school, but she never thought it could be true. She was frozen in place, her mind racing with fear and disbelief. She wanted to run, to scream, to do anything to get away from this apparition, every instinct screaming at her to run, but her body refused to obey. It was as if an invisible force was holding her in place, compelling her to face the ghost. But her legs wouldn't obey. She felt rooted to the spot, her muscles locked in terror. The ghostly girl continued to approach, her movements slow and deliberate. The girl's mouth twisted into a horrifying, unnatural grin, revealing sharp, jagged teeth. They looked like they could tear through flesh with ease, and Hannah shuddered at the thought. "I'm so cold," the ghost whispered, her voice barely more than a breath. It was a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, her voice like a distant wind, echoing through the bathroom. It carried a sense of longing and despair that made Hannah's heart ache, carrying centuries of sorrow and pain. It was a voice that had seen too much, endured too much, and now sought release. Hannah finally found her voice, though it was weak and trembling. She wanted to ask who the ghost was, what she wanted, but the words wouldn't come. But all she could do was let out a strangled scream, a sound that was more a gasp than a cry. It echoed in the small bathroom, amplifying her fear. As the girl reached out, her hand pale and dripping with water, it moved slowly, deliberately, as if savouring the moment, her cold, wet hand brushing against Hannah's arm. The touch was icy, sending a shock through Hannah's body. It felt like death itself had reached out to her. "I can't leave," the ghost whispered again, her voice filled with a sadness that was almost tangible. It was a plea, a cry for help that tugged at Hannah's heart, her voice now a chilling echo that seemed to fill the entire room. It reverberated off the walls, creating an eerie symphony of despair. That seemed to fill the entire room. Hannah felt surrounded by the ghost's presence, as if there was no escape. "You'll stay with me forever." The words were a promise, a curse, and Hannah felt a cold dread settle in her heart. She knew in that moment that the ghost would never let her go. Suddenly, the lights flickered back on, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The room felt colder, as if the very essence of the ghost had left a chilling mark. The ghost vanished, and the bathroom was silent once more. But Hannah wasn't alone. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos that had just unfolded. The air was thick with an unspoken fear, a lingering presence that seemed to watch from the shadows. Her friends found her the next day, sitting in the third stall, staring blankly at the wall. Her eyes were wide open, yet they seemed to see nothing. It was as if she was trapped in a world only she could perceive, a world of terror and despair. Her face was pale, and her lips were moving, repeating the same phrase over and over. "I can't leave, I can't leave." She never spoke again. The words echoed in the minds of those who heard them, a haunting reminder of the horrors that had taken place. From that day on, no one dared enter the third-floor bathroom. It became a place of legend, a forbidden zone where the bravest of students wouldn't venture. The stories spread like wildfire, each one more terrifying than the last. But late at night, when the hallways were empty, students claimed they could hear a girl's faint, desperate whispers, pleading for someone to help her escape the cold, endless darkness. The whispers grew louder with each passing night, a chilling reminder that some spirits never find peace. The school became a place of fear, where the past and present intertwined in a dance of shadows and whispers. The legend of Hannah and the third-floor bathroom lived on, a story that would be told for generations, a warning to those who dared to listen.